Hello, sixth graders. This is Mrs. Reiki. I'm going to help you go through and fill in some notes today on Chapter 13. Chapter 13 starts on page 98. I know you don't have a copy of the textbook at home, but I did put a copy of it into Schoology for you so that you could read it from the computer. I've also given you two copies of the notes. One of them is for you if you would like to print it out and just write your answers in. The other copy has text boxes. You can just double click where it says text and type your answers in. Okay, so this is chapter 13, Julius Caesar, a great Roman, starting on page 98. Hail to the conqueror! In the years after the Punic Wars, Rome continued to look for new areas to conquer and new peoples to govern. The young men of Rome's most powerful families were eager to gain fame by leading a Roman army in battle. They looked forward to the wealth, honor, and power they would gain if they succeeded. Julius Caesar, who lived from 101 to 44 BCE, was one of those ambitious young men. Caesar belonged to a patrician family, but he was not wealthy. He knew that if he was going to get ahead in life, he would have to do it through military advancement. Caesar lived at a time when the Roman Republic was beginning to have problems. The consuls in the Senate still ruled, but governors in the provinces were not always just and often forced people to pay high taxes. People in some of the conquered territories were unhappy about how they were governed. Rome had to rely on the strength of the army to keep the republic together. Okay, let's take a look here at your notes. So the first part of the notes, under the section Hail to the Conqueror, asks, why was the military important to Julius Caesar? So let's go back and look at that first part in your book. In this second main paragraph here, it says Caesar belonged to a patrician family, but he was not wealthy. He knew that if he was going to get ahead in life, he would have to do it through military advancement. Okay, so the important part of that would be right here. This is why the army was important to him. He was not wealthy, so that was his only way of getting ahead. So let's go back over to your notes and let's put in an answer here. I'll just say he was not wealthy and would need military to get ahead in life. Okay, so that was pretty short, so I don't probably need that second line there since I'm typing this. All right, the next thing that we're going to be looking for are 3 facts about the Roman army during Julius Caesar's time. So let's go back to the text and we're looking for those 3 facts about the Roman army. Our next paragraph here says, the Roman army had changed too. It was no longer manned by ordinary citizens. It had become a professional army. So there's 2 things. No longer manned by ordinary citizens, and it had become a professional army. This meant that the men who joined the army did so to further their careers. They were willing to fight, but mostly they wanted to get rich and gain higher status. So the men that joined wanted to get rich and gain higher status. They felt more loyalty to the generals who could lead them to victory and who would give them the rewards of war than they did to Rome itself. So they felt more loyalty to the generals than they did to Rome itself. The army had always been important to the Roman Republic, but now it was more important than ever. The generals who led the army were extremely powerful and could do great good or great harm. It was just a matter of time before someone tried to take over the Republic completely. Julius Caesar was that someone. Okay, so thinking about what we're going to say for our three different answers here. I can kind of go back and forth, this picture's in between. 3 facts about the Roman army during Julius Caesar's time. So the first fact we might say is it was no longer manned by ordinary citizens. So I'll put that here. It was no longer manned by ordinary citizens. Okay, and I could either put it was a professional army here, or I could make that another entry. It is. All right. Lots of choices here, more than I actually need. The men wanted to get rich and gain higher status, more loyalty to generals than Rome itself. Come back over here. Men in the army interested getting rich. Another word in here. So they were more loyal to the generals and to Rome. Okay, so like I said, we probably could have found more than 3, but what I chose was to put it was no longer manned by ordinary citizens, it was now a professional army, and men that were in the army were interested in getting rich, so they were more loyal to generals than to Rome. Okay. Our next section is titled Rise to Power. I'm just going to kind of look at the information that we need before we go back to the textbook. So number 1, Caesar made political allies. Allies, of course, are friends or somebody who's working with you. So Caesar made those political allies in Rome by blank and blank. So 2 ways that he made those friends. Number 2, in 59 BCE, Caesar blank. Caesar conquered blank and then decided blank. And Caesar's enemies told him something. Okay, let's go back to the textbook and we'll start looking for information about his allies. How did he make those friends? All right, so under Rise to Power, Caesar was tall and well built. He had dark brown eyes and cared about how he looked. He kept his hair trimmed and his face clean shaven. Caesar was intelligent and had a good sense of humor. He could be charming and courteous when he wanted to be. But because Caesar was a very ambitious and determined man, he could also be ruthless. Caesar commanded part of the Roman army, but that was not enough for him. He wanted as much power as he could get. Caesar knew that to get what he wanted, he would have to be victorious in battle. Then his soldiers would be more loyal to him than to Rome. He would also need political allies in Rome. If he helped others get some of the power they wanted, he could use them to get the power that he wanted. To become powerful at this time, it was important to be popular with the right people in Rome. So Caesar spent money entertaining others and making friends. Once he was popular, Caesar entered into an alliance with 2 other powerful Roman men, named Pompey and Crassus. They helped one another to pass laws they wanted and schemed to hold on to power that their enemies wanted to take from them. Caesar became powerful enough to be elected consul in 59 BCE. Okay, so again, we're looking over here to see how did he make political allies? Okay, so He did that by becoming popular, so I might ask myself, how did he become popular? He spent money entertaining others, entered into an alliance. Let's see. He helped others get some of the power that they wanted. So these were all ways that he was able to make political allies or friends to help him. So he helped others get some of the power they wanted, spent money entertaining others, and then after he became popular, he entered into an alliance with the two other powerful Roman men. So let's come back over here. Okay, so we only need two. So let's say he was entertaining others. And he helped others gain power. Probably could have put those in a different order, but that's okay. So now we have Caesar made political allies in Rome by entertaining others and helping others gain power. Okay, I think we might have gotten the answer to this one also. In 59 BCE, Caesar blank. So over here, in 59 BCE, what happened? It said Caesar became powerful enough to be elected consul in 59 BCE. So that's our answer to that one. Okay, so I don't think we've gotten to this part yet. Caesar conquered blank and then decided blank. Okay, so let's go back over to the book and see what he conquered and what he decided. Julius Caesar became one of the most successful generals in the Roman army that the Roman army had ever seen. He helped expand the Roman Republic in Europe. It took him about 9 years to fight the Gallic Wars, which gave Rome power in Gaul, present-day France. He even invaded Britain in 55 BCE, although Rome would not conquer the island until the next century. Much of northern Europe was coming under the control of the Mediterranean world and would be influenced by the culture and laws of the Romans. After he had conquered Gaul, Caesar decided that he wanted to be elected consul again. His previous consulship had ended. All right, so that's important information there. After he had conquered Gaul, Caesar decided he wanted to be elected consul again. Let's come back over here. And he decided he wanted to be elected consul again. Make the box just a little bit bigger here. Okay, and one more here. Caesar's enemies told him blank. The first time he had been consul, however, he had been proud and arrogant. He did some things he should not have done. Worse, his alliance with Pompey and Crassus had broken down. Pompey, in particular, did not trust Caesar anymore and wanted to remove him from power. No one becomes powerful without making enemies, and he had made some powerful ones. Now these enemies were determined to keep him from becoming consul again. They told Caesar that if he wanted to be elected consul, he had to come to Rome for the election. And so there is our answer for that one. Okay, I am going to let you finish this on your own. I will have some instructions printed for you in Schoology, but you can continue either handwriting or typing your answers, and then I'll give you information on how to submit. Have a great day and enjoy the rest of the chapter.